Okay, so you know Airbnb arbitrage works. You've seen plenty of others quickly building their portfolios and making tens of thousands of dollars each month. You want to start, but you're not sure what city to start in. So I did all of the research for you on supply, demand, saturation, and even restrictions. And in this video, I'm going to give you the top 10 cities to start Airbnb arbitrage, co-hosting, or investing in 2024 based on that data. And if you stick around until the end, I'll tell you where you can get our entire secret cities guide that lists out all of these cities, plus 7 additional cities, so that way you can use it to quickly reference your decision making. Let's dive in. Okay, so first on this list is Jacksonville, Florida. So first, it scored a 90 on the AirDNA market score, and that takes a lot of things into account, like cost of homes, Airbnb revenue, seasonality, rental booking frequency, and a few other things. Now, we don't want to solely rely on that does not tell the whole story. So let's look at the supply and the demand. Jacksonville saw a 14% increase in supply, so 14% increase in the number of listings, which shows that there's interest, but the demand also corresponded with that with a 13% increase in revenue. So this means that it is not saturated. Finally, Jacksonville showed a 12% growth in revenues per listing. This means that each host individually is making more money overall. The only limitation with Jacksonville is that the average revenues per listing are about 31,000, so that's not too crazy. So as of right now, the short-term rental restrictions in Jacksonville are minor, so I see this as a great place to start in 2024. Just a side note, when you download our guidebook, I've also listed all of the links to each local government website's restrictions on short-term rentals in the area, so that way you can do your own research. Just a disclaimer, I am not a legal authority. This is not legal advice, and I'm simply just reporting what I saw on these websites. Okay, so number 9 on this list is Savannah, Georgia. First, it scored a ridiculous 100 on the AirDNA market score, but like I said, that doesn't tell the whole story. I dove a little deeper and I still found great news. Now, its increase in demand, so 8% increase in revenue, didn't quite meet the increase in supply, which is a 17% increase in listings. So that hints to a little bit of saturation. However, listing owners saw an 8% increase in overall revenues, meaning each owner made more money. Here's the crazy part. The average listing in Savannah, Georgia makes $73,000. That is absolutely absurd, and that certainly makes Savannah an arbitrager's or co-hoster's dream. It looks like the short-term rental restrictions are subject to zoning, but I still have it rated as minor, so this is another great place to start in 2024. Okay, so number 8 on the list is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This hits a 75 on the AirDNA market score, which is also pretty good, but the other numbers here are really favorable. Lots of supply is increasing, so we've got a 27% increase in the number of listings last year, but fortunately, we're met with a 21% increase in revenue as well, so again, I don't quite consider this saturated. The biggest eyebrow raiser here is there is a 24% increase in revenues per active listing. That is huge. Finally, Pittsburgh currently has no short-term rental restrictions for 2024, which makes it a pretty great place, although it looks like they're in talks of adding restrictions throughout the year. Number 7 on this list is Dallas, Texas. Here's why. So Dallas has an 86 on the AirDNA market score and a 0% increase in supply. So 0% increase in competition. This is great. Paired with an 11% increase in revenue, this is the farthest thing from saturation in my opinion. We're also seeing a whopping 13% increase in revenues per active listing, and that is amazing. Now, restrictions are subject to zoning here, but overall, Texas is a very short-term rental friendly state. That's why this is number 7. Okay, so number 6 on the list is Indianapolis, Indiana. We've got an 83 on the AirDNA market score, which meets our standards, and the supply is absolutely surging, which actually is pretty intimidating. There's a 43% increase in new listings, but there's also a 17% increase in revenue. So this makes us a little more comfortable about the newfound desire of Indianapolis. But the biggest thing here is the huge surge in revenue per rental, which is 37%. That is insane. That means the average listing is making 37% more money over the last year. Indianapolis also has pretty minor restrictions as of right now. This makes it another great place to start in 2024. Number 5, Columbus, Ohio. The numbers here are showing us all of the right things. We've got an 84 on the AirDNA market score. We've got a 27% increase in revenue growth and a 25% increase in rental growth. That means both supply and demand is increasing. There's a lot of interest here. And hosts are also making 34% more individually each listing, which is just massive. Now, the average revenues are really only about 33,000 here, which isn't too impressive, but again, the restrictions here are pretty minor at the moment, making Columbus another great place. Okay, so this next one really surprised me. So with a deceiving 72 AirDNA market score, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania saw a strong dip in supply. So it actually went down by 13% in the number of listings. Now, when you pair that with a 24% increase in revenues, That's huge. That means that there's way less competition and way more money to be made. If you also look at the additional 27% increase in revenues per active listing, that is also a dream come true for a new Airbnb arbitrage host. Now, Philly does require permits, but as of right now, the rental restrictions are still pretty minor, making this another great place to start in 2024. Okay, so number 3 is Houston, Texas. So Houston is showing us nothing but upside on all metrics. So we've got a 76 on the AirDNA market score with a slight increase in supply, so a 12% increase in the number of listings, but a massive increase in demand. So we've got 28% growth in overall revenue. Equally as impressive is the 29% increase in revenues per active listing, which means hosts are individually making way more money this year as well. Now, even though the average revenue per listing is only about $34,000, Houston currently has 0 short-term rental restrictions, which is a great place for beginners to get started. Now, this next one I really wanted to put at number 1, but there's one reason why we didn't. Charleston, South Carolina has a 99 on the AirDNA market score, which is amazing. So check out these numbers. We've got an 11% increase in the number of listings, so it's showing interest, an 18% increase in revenue, so it's showing demand, and a 14% increase in revenue per listing, which is also very favorable. But this is absolutely insane. The average revenue per listing in Charleston is $95,000. That's absolutely bonkers, but the one downside to Charleston are its restrictions. Unfortunately, not only do you need permits, but you also need to show proof of owner occupancy. This does make arbitrage and property management co-hosting a little bit tough to get into, but if you are an investor, this is an incredible place to start. Now, before I reveal the number 1 city, I'm just going to tell you how you can get your own copy of the top 10 cities guide. We've actually created an entire step-by-step course to show you how to build your own 6-figure Airbnb arbitrage portfolio in 2024. It is available on the new School platform at school.com/Airbnb, where we host free live workshops and we give you a step-by-step curriculum on how to do this yourself. Inside the school course, you'll have the option to download this guide, but I'm also going to give it to you for free just for watching this video. Just click the link in the description and you can download it there. Okay, so the number 1 city to start Airbnb in 2024 is Kansas City, Missouri. I certainly didn't expect this one either, but not only does Kansas City have some of the highest growing revenue numbers in the country, with a 33% increase in revenue and a 36% increase in revenue per listing, also with a healthy average revenue of $39,000 per listing, but it also experienced a massive dip in inventory of negative 20% in listings growth. That means that competition went way down and everything else went way up. AirDNA gave it a 95, and I totally agree with them. The restrictions are also pretty minor at this time, so Kansas City is my top city to start in 2024. I hope that you found this helpful. Go ahead and check us out on School if you'd like to build your own Airbnb arbitrage business and portfolio in 2024, or if you want to fast track your way into doing that through one-on-one guidance and your own virtual assistant, go ahead and use the link in the description to schedule a strategy call with us where we'll see what your goals are and if we're a good fit to work together. Good luck.